I do a good bit of speaking around the country, and I always get this question, is it hard to be a college president today? I say it's hard to be DePauw's college president because you always speak last. And you have to follow the great speeches from DePauw alumni that came before. Thank you for both coming to speak today. Welcome back. Welcome to the most fun and memorable weekend in the DePauw family year. I remember a few years ago asking a sweet lady from the 50th class that year how it felt to be back to her reunion. And she said, "The 50th reunion is where you feel younger than everybody else looks." I'll let you be the judge of that. But it's my pleasure and my honor to welcome you home. You are proof that DePauw develops leaders the world needs, and it's always good to have you home. This weekend, reconnecting with friends and with DePauw is possible only through the heroic efforts of many DePauw leaders, more than 250 reunion volunteers, and 40 class chairs. Each of you know at least one of these special people. Leaders like the 25th class, Andre Brewer, who continue to provide the energy and spark. And other longtime DePauw advocates like Lisa Henderson Bennett, Brad Simmons, and Emily Smith Coolidge, who effectively appeal to their classmates to support students through the Fund for DePauw. Or those like Jack Campbell, whose ever-positive spirit kept the 50th committee moving ahead, or those such as Tim Feemster and Kitty Clem Sturrock, whose constant communication to classmates spurred attendance, or Nancy Geis, who led by example in securing philanthropy for a robust class gift. Each of you are proof of concept that DePauw develops leaders the world needs, and we owe all of this year's reunion committee volunteers a great debt of thanks. Thank you all. Special moments like this weekend provide an opportunity to look backward, but to also look forward. It gives us an opportunity to reflect on the good and the bad of the past and commit to more of the former and less of the latter in the future. Our 50th senior year included the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Bobby Kennedy, but also the world's first jumbo jet, the 747. For the class of '93, who could have imagined what was portended by both the first World Trade Center bombing and this new invention called the World Wide Web browser? We've come back to DePauw not only to remember, but to plan. We can come and celebrate the innumerable successes of the graduates of our first 181 years, but we also must look forward to what waits the graduates of our next 181. You were able to come to DePauw through the good graces of those that came before you, and now you are paying it forward to those that come after. And that's the beauty of a DePauw education. We are standing on the shoulders of giants. And to today's students, you are those giants. Who could have imagined how the jumbo jet would change air travel, more than doubling the passenger capacity of the largest airplane of the day? Who could have imagined how this little-known idea, a web browser, would fundamentally alter everything we do today? No one rightly predicted these changes. Remember Bill Gates saying 64K of RAM should be just about enough for anybody? No one really predicted those changes, yet you were somehow prepared for them. How? Because our stellar faculty, our liberal arts education, and DePauw's commitment to teach you not what to think, but how to think, set you up for a lifetime of change. More than that, it set you up to lead that change. Now, how has the world changed for today's graduates? Well, they are facing the most diverse and complex world in our history. Cultural agility and the ability to understand, to comprehend, to navigate, and to lead across difference, whether that difference is racial, ethnic, gender, background, viewpoint, religion, or anything else, is the hallmark of a great leader. And what kind of world does today's leader face? Well, consider this. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no taxis. Facebook, the world's the most famous media platform, creates no media. Airbnb, the world's most, Alibaba, the world's most valuable retailer, has no inventory. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. When this year's graduates come back for their 25th, in the year 2043, what then? If this meteoric pace of change is profoundly felt now, what will they be experiencing at their 50th reunion in 2068? That old saw, the only thing constant is change, is not true. Change is not constant. It's accelerating. The pace of that change in our lifetimes could fairly be attributed to Moore's Law. Moore's Law is the idea that a computer chip will shrink in size and double in speed at a lower price every year. And this has held true since 1970. Nothing in the world has had greater impact than this technological change. And nothing has seen the exponential rise that technology has seen. I'll prove this point. If Moore's Law was applied to a 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, today's Volkswagen would go 300,000 miles per hour. It would go 2 million miles on 1 gallon of gas. And it would cost 4 cents. You could pass down your parents' gasoline to your grandchildren. And remember that change is accelerating, so we must accelerate to improve our efforts to lead that change. And how can we at DePauw do that? Well, I'm humbled and honored to announce that 2 members of the class of 1968 have donated $20 million to be sure we prepare for that change properly. With this life-changing gift, we will endow a leadership initiative to be certain that every student at DePauw is ready to lead profound change. And I'd like to ask you to join me in thanking Karen and Steve Sanger for this newly announced $20 million Sanger Leadership Initiative. No one could have imagined jumbo jets crisscrossing the sky. No one could have imagined a World Wide Web. No one could have imagined more technology in your pocket than we use to fly a man to the moon. Yet you were prepared. Because our rigorous curriculum and the experiential learning opportunities prepared you to more than recognize change, more than navigate change. It prepared you to lead change, and that is our mission, to develop leaders the world needs even to the latest generation. So how can you help? The education and experience we provide is not inexpensive. People are shocked to learn that even when a student pays full price for a DePauw education, they do not pay the full cost. Because our small class size, our terminally degreed faculty, and the dizzying array of opportunities, the education you were provided and the education we provide today is incredibly costly. Your participation in the annual fund has an impact. Now, I regularly hear people say, my little contribution to the annual fund can't make a difference. And there's an African proverb that says, those who think small things do not make a difference should spend one night in a closed tent with a mosquito. When you participate in the annual fund at any level, you make education possible for the thousands of future leaders on our campus. When you provide an internship or employment for our students, you provide a development opportunity for leaders the world needs. When you recommend DePauw to a prospective student, you bring us the next generation of great leaders. In a hotter, more diverse world with higher sea levels, faster technology, and increased automation, there will be a need for leaders, and DePauw is the place that develops those leaders with your help. You stand on the shoulders of giants. You are the giants whose shoulders our students today stand on. Together, we, the DePauw family, change the world. Welcome back. You're always welcome home. And thank you for helping us produce leaders the world needs.